reserve list cards you can't afford when you're on a budget. Hi everyone and welcome back. MTG Moxman here. If you're new to the channel, you've just found me in the nacho cheese universe of YouTube. Hey, thanks a lot for checking out my content today. Hope you had a good time while you were here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, join the channel. Every new subscription is getting me closer to 8,000 subscribers and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. So in today's video, budget reserve list cards you can afford. I'm talking like 20-cent cards. We're going to have some fun with this today and have a little bit of a kick, okay? When you're first collecting reserve list cards, most people think of that Power 9. Oh, the glorious high-end cards. But there's so many budget, low-end reserve list cards you can get into nowadays. Most people hate them. I admit that. They just say, why would I buy it? It's junk. It's a piece of garbage. I understand. I get it. A lot of people say that. But that's up to every person to decide. There's lots of people out there who like just collecting one of every reserve list card that they can afford. Why not? 4, a play set. That's usually what I go for. There's lots of reasons. And if somebody's just getting into collecting and they want to get some reserve list cards, maybe to pimp out a fun deck that costs next to nothing, well, that's what we're talking about today. So let's get to some reserve list cards that really don't cost a lot of money at all. I think there's one that's kind of pricey, but still affordable, less than $100. So let's get to it. Let's have some fun, and I'm looking forward to reading your comments in the comment section today. The first card we're talking about today is Ashnod Silex, and that is from Alliances. Now, $3 Canadian, guys. We're going to spend some big bucks here today. $3. You can get this card near mint here in Canada. Now, the average price is $2.45 US. The market price is $2.05 US, and it's €2.31 to get that card into your house. You can see there the formats are Vintage, Legacy, and Commander. Of course, we're probably talking Commander for this card, although possibly some Vintage and Legacy, depending on how you build. The sales on the card are staying steady. It's selling a copy a day at least. And if you look at the overall sales, being steady is not a bad thing. It doesn't have a lot of notice yet. Nobody's gobbled up, which kept the price cheap for everyone who does want to get a copy. Remember, this is purely for entertainment purposes only. This is non-finance stuff, man. I'm just some guy who collects cardboard. Now, you can seek out a real financial advisor, or I can continue. You want to pause the video? All right, let's keep going. April 29th of 2021, this card reached the highs of $10. It was up at $10. And of March 16th of 2022, right when you're watching this video, it's probably paused right now, or you've left the video already, it is $2.50 to get that card. Now, when you take a closer look, this card is from Alliances, sure, but it's a 2 casting cost artifact. Okay, artifacts can fit anywhere, so it's great. It has 3 end taps. You can use it anytime you feel like it. You can use it on your opponent's turn, use it on your turn. Target player looks at the top 3 cards of his or her library and puts one of them on top of that library. Remove the remaining 2 from the game. Interesting. It said target person. It can be anybody. I can do it to myself. I can do it to an opponent. And if I'm playing in a good Commander game and I think there's something fishy going on, I can make friends and make enemies in all kinds of new ways. I love it. Interesting card, some fun effects, and the sheer factor when you put a card like this out, some people have never seen it because it's Alliances. It's old school. They're like, what card is that? Is that real? And then they read it. They're like, it's not that bad. You're right. It's not that bad. And it's not that great. It's cheap. It's affordable. And there are some people who will take an interest in this card. And that's why, hey, I'm mentioning it today. It's got some kick to it when used the right way. I like playing these games, man. Fun card, cheap price. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next card. Here we have Fairy Noble, and that's from Homelands. This card is $5 Canadian near mint. The average price is $4.09 US. I know, as much as a Big Mac, but what can you do? The market price is $2.38 US, and it's €2.66 to get that card into your house. He'll fly through a bedroom window when you're not looking at it. Now, the formats being Commander, Legacy, Vintage. There's been a lot, ever since Throne of Eldraine, I've mentioned this guy off and on. A lot of Fae and Fairies out there. A lot of cool stuff you can add to build a tribal deck. The sales on this card have stayed steady, but look at the dip in price. At its highest, February 22nd of 2021, this card reached $11.49. Now, as of March 16th of 2022, $1.93. That's like an 80% haircut. That card is pretty affordable. Now, that's probably like a lightly played, probably not a near mint, but still, that is a pretty affordable card to grab your hands. Now, If you look at the card itself, you're going, okay, he is 2 colorless, 1 green. Summon Noble. I know, right? Flying. All fairies you control, this is a passive ability, right? All fairies you control get +0, +1. So all fairies get an extra 1 defense. Not the worst card when you think of kobold decks and thralls and things like that. But he can tap himself, just tap him, and all fairies you control get +1, +0 until end of turn. So this guy can pump up your fae. He can make your guys a little bit bigger. And when used in a blue-green deck, in a commander deck, this guy's going to have some fun times ahead of him. And the more support that tribal theme decks get. We saw it big time with squirrels. But if you make fae and fairies get more support, more crazy stuff, guys like him become a little more like, hey, it's not that bad. I can get my guys a little more buffed up. It's only a 3 casting cost for a 1/2 flyer. Not great, by the way. Definitely not bad back in the day, but not great by today's standards. But you can still see that passive ability pumping everybody up is kind of nice to see. And that's what you got to consider when you're looking at cards like this, is that long-term factor. And if you actually want to buy this card to put into a deck somewhere, he might be a total pass for you. All right, let's check out the next card. Here we have a Mirage card, Cuckmisa Pirates. Now, this card is $6 Canadian for a near mint copy. The average price is $4.36 US. The market price is $3.98 US. And then, of course, it's €4.63 to get this card into your house. The formats are Commander, Legacy, Vintage. But if you look there again, sales are steady. Not high, not low, copy here and there. February 15th of 2021, this card was $15.82. March 16th of 2022, $3.97. What a haircut this card has taken. From its high to its low, look where it's at. Now, is this card worth anything? What does this guy do? All right, it's a 4 casting cost. That's pretty steep for back in the day for a little 2/2. But if the Pirates attacks and is not blocked, you may choose to have it deal no combat damage to a defending player this turn. If you do, gain control of target artifact that player controls. Wow. Suddenly, this card's not shaping up to be too shabby. I might have to take these guys out for some nachos and cheese. Put a little side order of some salsa and guacamole with that. Because stealing artifacts is kind of a fun thing to do. And again, putting this into a commander deck with somebody who's got some cool artifacts you like, popping this guy out there and saying, hi, I'm here, making him unblockable somehow. Oh, I can just see the fun happening right now in the commander battles that will come to play. I'm just saying it's maybe worth the $6. Maybe worth that little nachos and cheese I was going to buy him, all right? Let's go on to the next card. That's right. You're looking at it. A pygmy hippo from Visions. Pygmy hippo. 1 green, 1 blue. Now, $6 Canadian for near mint copy. The average price, $4.51 US. The market has it at $4 US, and it's €3.52 to get this little pygmy hippo into your house as long as you feed it and take care of it. The sales are steady, just like the other cards. The format, Commander, Legacy, Vintage, but let's talk about Commander. March 15th of 2021, this guy was $18.69. March 16th of 2022, it's $4. Wow. Talk about a, 75% off. Now, the Pygmy Hippo actually isn't a bad card. At least in my opinion. All these cards are my opinion. 1 blue, 1 green for a 2/2. And it says, okay, this is what it reads. If the Pygmy Hippo attacks and is not blocked, you may choose to have it deal no combat damage this turn. If you do, defending player draws all mana from his or her lands, and then his or her mana pool is emptied. After combat, add an amount of mana that is colorless equal to that mana pool. So if they had like 10 mana when this guy hits, you're going to get 10 mana to cast something. That is fun. And in a commander game, come on. Tell me you're not thinking about the crazy stuff you could do and the combos you can make happen with a little pet pygmy hippo from Kenner. Oh wait, sorry, it's not a toy. It's a card, but I can't help myself. It just looks like it'd be a little thing I would buy as a kid. So that's the Pygmy Hippo. It is something to think about, and it's a Visions card that costs next to nothing. A playset of 4 is going to run you like, moderately played, I think it's like $8, $9. I'm just saying, it's one of those cards you're like, hey, it's a Pygmy Hippo. How can we not like this card? Let's check out our next card. All right, I know, it's not super cheap. This one's kind of expensive, but considering what it does and where the price has fallen from, I had to add this to let people know the price on this, okay? All right, Tithe, Visions card. Reserve list. Sales are steady. Not selling a lot right now. $40 Canadian for a near mint copy. The average is $30.73 US. The market is $28.35 US. And it's €26.84 to get this card into your house. Formats being Commander, Vintage, and Legacy. Of course, all those formats will play this card. February 1st of 2021, this card was $67.89 US. March 16th of 2021, $30.66. Half price for an expensive card. I gotta say, this is something people should be looking at. The dip we're having right now is really, it's got some good juicy pricing going. So Tithe is an instant, a 1 white casting cost instant that gets mana. Search your library for a Plains card. If you control fewer lands than target opponent, you may search your library for an additional Plains card. Reveal those cards to all players, and then put them into your hand. Shuffle your library afterwards. So, let's think about this. You're playing Commander, and some opponent, 3 or 4 of them, whatever, have more than you. But there's somebody who has less. That 1 mana drop is going to get me 2 Plains and cycle 2 cards out of my deck, right into my hand. And maybe I want a lot of cards in my hand. Maybe there's things you could do with a card like this at this price level. So I'm mentioning it because it is not going to stay here. It cannot stay at this price level. It's a very, very usable card in Commander. So enjoy it, guys, because this is the price that I'd be like, yes, I bought one, okay? I bought myself one near mint one. It'll be in some upcoming video. I couldn't help myself. The price was just too good to, like, not buy it. All right, guys, let's check out the next card. So here we have the Heart of Beau Garden. This is from Weatherlight, okay? $3 Canadian for a near mint copy. The average is $2.16. Wow, big money here we're talking. US. The market, though, is only $1.44 US. And it's €1.63 to get this card into your house. The formats are Commander, Legacy, Vintage. The sales are slow on this card. February 22nd of 2021, this card had a high of $5.48. March 16th of 2022, we're down to $2.18. Well, why? What does this card do? Why is it so worthless? Most people hate cumulative upkeep. But let's look at this card. 2 red, 2 other casting costs for the Heart of Beau Garden. It has a cumulative upkeep cost of 2, so it's going to get really expensive to try to keep this card alive. If Heart of Beau Garden's cumulative upkeep is not paid, the Heart of Beau Garden deals damage equal to its last paid cumulative upkeep to cumulative? Man, that's a hard word to say when you're trying to say it quickly. Upkeep to target player and each creature he or she controls. So if I don't pay the upkeep, whatever I paid last, it does that much damage to the opponent and their creatures. Well, we already know there's lots of ways of ramping up mana to pay a higher casting cost and getting up to like 10 cumulative upkeep and then booming it out, take 10 damage and all their creatures take 10. Oh, the fun you could have. And at 4 casting cost, it will not be hard to get this on the battlefield, keep it alive, and in a Commander game, it could probably put a target on your back unless you said to some friends, I'm targeting it in a certain way. Cards like this for this cheap, I just don't understand why they're at this level. Maybe they're always going to stay here, but eventually 4 get taken, 4 get taken, 4 get taken, and there's less for everyone. I mean, I would go for the near mints for like, $1.44. Might be something you're interested in. Maybe not. Maybe you'll just say to me, this is worthless. But I just see a way that if I can figure out ways to pay for that upkeep 3-4 turns in a row, this is going to hurt someone, and it's going to hurt them bad. Let's check out the next card. Our next card is considered worthless by many. This is Deluxe Cube from Fallen Empires. It is $1 Canadian for a light played near mint copy. The average is $1.72 US. The market, $1.60 US. And it's €2.23 to get this card into your house. The formats being Commander, Legacy, and Vintage. The sales are slow on the card. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates us. Let's all go eat worms. So March 15th of 2021, this card reached a high. That's right, this card was up there, man. $3.59 is the highest it's ever been. March 16th of 2022, it's $1.72. So what is the cube? I know it looks like it's from Transformers, but it's not. It's a 1 casting cost artifact. And it says 2, tap it. If target creature you control attacks and is not blocked, it deals no damage to opponent. Instead, put a counter on Deluxe Cube. All right, so you put a counter on. What does that counter do? 2, not a tap, just 2 and use it. Remove a cube counter to regenerate target creature. So, you have some little quick goblins poking away. You know, a little haste goblin army. Krenko deck there and commander. Poking away at some people. You put some counters on your cube. And later on, when you got to keep your particular goblins alive, you don't want them to die, you want to keep all those goblins there, the big boys at least, you can start making sure they live by regenerating them. Or if an opponent is going to get knocked out of the game, you can regenerate their creature and keep it on the battlefield. You've got options and it only costs 1 to get out. 1. Of course, artifacts like this go over everyone's head and they don't care. And I get it. It's a junky, not a great card, but you can find uses for it when you want to. It can be a little bit of a kicker when people aren't expecting it. So, way to go, Cube. I put you on the list today because you're super cheap and you look like a Transformers Energon Cube transforming from the first Transformers movie. So there you have it. Some cheap, low-end reserveless cards, except for Tithe, that you can totally throw in, have some fun with, that cost next to nothing. Guys, thanks a lot for tuning in today. Have an awesome day today. Bring a friend to Magic, man. It's what it's all about. It's awesome. It's Magic. What a great game. Of course, a giant shout out goes out to all the fantastic patrons on the channel. And of course, if any of the patrons are interested in doing a box opening for New Capenna, make sure you contact me inside the Discord or on email and we'll set that up for you. Have a great one, everyone.